It's this kind of morning. Hi, and welcome back to the 40-day upload challenge and embracing the race. Day 29, and it's starting off a very sunny, beautiful day, but it's kind of cold outside. And you might hear that. We have our fireplace going right here, so if you hear any weird background noise, that's what that is. Feels nice to sit this close to it. Since the last one, spring has sprung, and I'm so excited. I love spring, minus the allergies, but I kind of got a good system to keep those in control as far as allergy medicine. But anyway, so today's devotion is called Glow in the Dark, which I thought was kind of a fun title. She starts off with Philippians chapter 2, verses 4 through 16. Do everything without grumbling or arguing, so that you may become blameless and pure, children of God without fault, in a warped and crooked generation. Then you will shine among them like stars in the sky as you hold firmly to the word of life. And then I will be able to boast on the day of Christ that I did not run or labor in vain. Whenever I read that verse, it reminds me of growing up whenever I didn't want to do chores. My mom would remind me, the Bible says you're supposed to do chores without grumbling. And I'm like, thanks, Mom. But, I have that exact same verse hanging in our kitchen, and taught that to my kids as well. That what I usually try to think of, this has absolutely nothing to do with the devotion, what I always try to think of when I'm doing a task that I don't particularly enjoy is to think of the blessing in it. Like, I hate doing dishes. But I try to think about how grateful I am that I have dishes to do, which means that I have food and the ability to make meals, and all of that is a blessing. So take that for what it is. It's a little extra for the devotion today. Excuse me for that. All right, so glow in the dark. So I really wasn't sure where she was going with it initially, but of course she's talking about running at nighttime or early in the morning before sun comes up. Sometimes you got to do that to fit it in. I'm actually this is very appropriate. This week I'm going to try to get back into the routine of meeting with my run group at 5 in the morning to run, because it's warm enough to do that now. When I started doing that last fall, it was early. It took a little bit of getting used to, but it was nice to, my miles were done and I was good to go for the rest of the day. I had, I felt like I had more time in my day to get my other tasks done when I didn't have, if I want to get my training in today, I got to do it anyway. So those early mornings can help. But she does point out this little statistic here. According to the Governor's Highway Safety Association, 70% of pedestrian deaths occur between 6 p.m. and 6 a.m. So she talks about how, as runners, if you're going to be out there doing it that early in the morning, that I don't think I'm sure there might be a small handful that don't do this, but, we light ourselves up. My running buddy has a vest that has like a string of lights on it, so that you can see her running. I bought little light up, they're bracelets, but they're too big to wear on my wrist, so I usually will string them through my running belt. So I have lights on either side of me that you can see. You light yourself up somehow, flashlight, whatever, so that people can see you. So she relates this in that we're supposed to be God's light in this world, and we're supposed to let God's light shine through us in the darkness of this world. It's that, and I've said it before on other days, that city on a hill, that we should look different. We should shine bright, and people wonder what makes us different. She says, there may be times when you see absolutely no light around you. All seems gloomy and bleak. You doubt if your life really matters. I need more coffee. But it's time to keep running the race of faith. It's time to embrace Jesus and stay strong. It's a matter of life for the souls around you. We can only reflect the light of Jesus to others if we're intentional in choosing the path He's called us to. There's that word intentional that keeps coming up. If there's ever been a time for embracing the truth and power of Jesus, it is now. To know him and make him known, this is the calling of everyone who claims to follow him. It really is important nowadays, I feel like. Over the past year when everything first started happening, I always, not even just this last year, but when you have scary things that happen, I always wonder, if you don't have that relationship with God, where do you find your hope, or do you have hope? Because there's that David Crowder song, "All My Hope Is in Jesus," and it's true. That's where my hope comes from. If I didn't have that, I'm not really sure what kind of state I'd be in. Okay, the questions. Can you identify an area of darkness in your own life? Area of darkness. Nothing super dark. Obviously the most recent pandemic, like I said, it wasn't super dark because I knew that there was a reason that all of that was going on, and we'd come out of it one way or another. I know, I forget what grade I was in now, thinking about it on the spot, but when 9/11 happened, I lived in Northern Virginia, just outside of DC. My dad worked, not at that time that 9/11 happened, but he used to work in DC. At the time that 9/11 happened, he worked at I guess it's an air traffic control center, and he was working that day. But I remember, post that day, that things were a little scary, and I was young at the time. And I don't even really think even then I knew the gravity of what all of that really meant. But there's been moments where, things seem pretty bleak. Are you willing to let Jesus shine his light there? That's what I tried to do this past year. I've mentioned, how I found new ways to not just sit and worry about everything, it was a year ago when all of that first started, so we were coming into spring, so it was nice enough weather to sit outside and still enjoy what spring had to offer with flowers and the beautiful weather. And I'm fortunate to live in an area where the kids and I were still able to go to certain places safely and exercise and run. I know not everybody had that ability. If you live, in a city, for example, a little harder to get out and still do the social distance thing that was really, really being recommended back then. It's all about, she said it, it's that word intentional. It's all about taking that time to sit and just not let the worry consume you, but to sit and focus on him, type thing. Where do you sense Jesus calling you to shine his light to others around you who need the message of hope? Well, gosh, I hope this is sharing his hope. I've enjoyed making these videos and just making the videos of my training and races. And if you go back and watch the very, very first one that I did when I started doing all of these, even though it's, I'm videoing myself and all that jazz, I still want to point to him in anything that I do. But just, looking for those opportunities in my daily life to maybe talk to a stranger, which makes me so uncomfortable, which I've mentioned. Not talking to a stranger just in general. I talk to strangers all the time, but I mean talking to them about him. I've never really done that before, so to have the courage to do that. She ends with John chapter 8, verse 12. Jesus spoke to them, saying, I am the light of the world. Whoever follows me will not walk in darkness, but will have the light of life. That's good. I always think whenever I read about the light of the world and darkness and all that in the Bible, I always think of Christmas. And we didn't really get to have it this year, and I was so sad. But a lot of churches will do their candlelight services. At the end of the service, they'll turn all the lights off in the sanctuary, and everybody has a candle, and you light each other's candle. But I mean, that's such a beautiful representation of what this is saying, that all of us in the sanctuary holding a light, it's like the lights aren't off because it's so bright. It does not take much. Just a flame can brighten up a really dark room. And with all of our little candles together, it's beautiful and bright. And that's what this is talking about. So it's a beautiful candlelight service at Christmas is a beautiful metaphor for what we're supposed to be in this world. So hang on to that. But I hope everyone is doing well. We had a great time camping, testing out our new camper. Everything turned out really well. And it was a good weekend. So I hope everyone else had a great weekend as well. And I will see you tomorrow.